Winning the lottery once can
Winning the lottery once can change a life. Winning twice sounds impossible, but one man is widely credited with winning major lottery prizes 14 times, and his greatest operation did not depend on predicting a single winning number. His name was Stefan Mandel. He was a Romanian-born economist who looked at the lottery and saw something very different from everyone else. Most players saw dreams, lucky dates, and impossible odds. Mandel saw a system with a price. If the jackpot grew larger than the cost of covering the possible combinations, chance could, at least in theory, be transformed into logistics. That idea would eventually bring him to Virginia, thousands of miles from home, with a network of investors, warehouses of equipment, and a plan so audacious that investigators initially struggled to believe it was legal. Mandel's story began under communist rule in Romania. His salary was modest, and leaving the country was extraordinarily difficult. He became fascinated by combinatorics, the branch of mathematics concerned with counting possible arrangements. In a lottery, every ticket is one arrangement. The challenge is not mystical, it is numerical. His earliest approach was not simply to buy every combination. Contemporary accounts describe a method he called combinatorial condensation, designed to reduce the number of tickets needed while guaranteeing certain lower-tier outcomes if selected numbers appeared. It did not remove risk, and it did not magically reveal the future, but it gave Mandel a structured way to attack a game that most people approached emotionally. After an early Romanian win, Mandel was eventually able to leave the country. He settled in Australia, where the scale of his ambition changed. Instead of risking only his own money, he organized syndicates. Investors contributed capital, teams generated combinations, completed betting slips, transported tickets, checked results, and collected prizes. The crucial insight was economic, not psychic. Some lotteries allowed jackpots to roll over while the number of possible combinations remained fixed. Imagine a game with 7 million combinations and tickets costing $1 each. If the jackpot climbs far beyond $7 million, and the smaller prizes are also included, buying every combination may produce a positive expected return. But the phrase, "buy every combination," hides the real problem. Millions of tickets must be created correctly. They must be accepted by retailers before the deadline. Machines can jam. Stores can refuse enormous orders. Payments can fail. One duplicated combination or missing batch can leave a hole exactly where the winning ticket happens to be. Mandel was not merely playing a lottery. He was building a temporary industrial operation. In Australia, his syndicates reportedly won repeatedly, and authorities responded by changing rules and restricting bulk purchasing. Each restriction made the operation harder. So Mandel looked abroad for a lottery whose mathematics and regulations still created an opening. He found Virginia. In 1992, Virginia's lottery required players to select 6 numbers from 44. That produced 7,059,052 possible combinations. Tickets cost $1. The jackpot had rolled to approximately $27 million, nearly 4 times the nominal cost of every combination. On paper, the opportunity was spectacular. In reality, it was almost impossible. Mandel's International Lotto Fund assembled capital from roughly 2,500 investors. The group prepared millions of combinations and coordinated with retailers in Virginia. Reports from the time described trucks, boxes of betting material, cashier's checks, and teams working against the clock as the drawing approached. They intended to cover all 7,059,052 combinations. They did not manage to buy everyone. Retailer limits and time pressure reportedly left a significant number unpurchased. At that point, after millions of dollars and years of planning, chance returned to the story. The winning combination had to be inside the portion they had successfully bought. It was. On February 15, 1992, the syndicate captured Virginia's jackpot, worth a little more than $27 million. Because the operation held millions of other tickets, it also collected numerous secondary prizes. The result looked less like an ordinary lottery win than the settlement of a giant mathematical net. If stories about the hidden systems beneath money, chance, and power fascinate you, subscribe to System Beneath. Here, we follow the people who discover that the rules are not always what they appear to be. The victory triggered immediate suspicion. Lottery officials delayed payment while authorities examined the operation. Investigators wanted to know where the money came from, how the tickets had been purchased, and whether any law had been broken. The case attracted scrutiny involving state authorities and federal agencies. But the central act, buying huge numbers of valid lottery tickets, was not the same as altering the drawing or counterfeiting a ticket. The winning ticket was ultimately honored. The system had not been hacked electronically. Mandel's group had exploited a gap between the jackpot, the number of combinations, and the rules governing purchases. Still, a $27 million headline did not mean $27 million of personal profit. The syndicate had spent millions buying tickets. Investors expected returns. Partners and organizers had claims. Taxes and the structure of the annuity mattered. Some contemporary reporting suggested that ordinary investors received far less than the sensational jackpot figure implied. That is one reason Mandel's story is often misunderstood. He did not discover a sequence of lucky numbers. He discovered moments when a lottery could become an investment proposition, and then persuaded other people to finance an operation large enough to exploit it. Even that description requires caution. A positive expected value is not a guaranteed profit when execution is imperfect. Another person can choose the same winning numbers and split the jackpot. The jackpot can be paid over time rather than immediately. Equipment can fail. Rules can change. And, as Virginia demonstrated, millions of purchased combinations can still leave a dangerous gap. Modern lotteries learned from operations like Mandel's. Rules, purchase procedures, combination counts, security systems, and jackpot structures make this strategy far more difficult to reproduce. The exact opening he exploited was narrow, expensive, and temporary. There is also a deeper paradox. Lotteries sell the fantasy that one inexpensive ticket can create instant wealth. Mandel rejected that fantasy completely. His success required investors, computers, printers, contracts, transportation, workers, and enormous risk. He beat a game marketed as pure luck by treating it like a factory. And yet luck never disappeared. In Virginia, his team failed to cover every possible ticket. Their system brought them close enough for probability to become attractive, but the final step still depended on the winning combination being inside their incomplete collection. That mixture of mathematics and uncertainty is what makes the story so compelling. Mandel understood that randomness does not always mean a system has no structure. Sometimes the structure is hidden in the relationship between price, payout, and scale. The lottery did not lose because Mandel knew which numbers would be drawn. It lost because, for one brief moment, its own rules made the entire field of numbers worth buying. Stefan Mandel is remembered as the man who won the lottery 14 times, but his real achievement was stranger than luck. He showed that an institution built on impossible odds could become vulnerable when someone stopped choosing numbers and started counting all of them.